Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Beauty and Difference podcast, where I share the stories of individuals who have learned to not just accept, but celebrate their difference in hopes that we all can too. Today, I am here with Iris. Hello. And
Hi.
she is going to share her story of how she learned to celebrate her difference, which is her birthmark. So go ahead.
So when I was younger, I've had this birthmark my whole life. It's a port wine stain, and it covers my entire right hand, an arm, and then a bit towards my back. And so, my whole life I have had it, especially when I was younger, the color was even darker. And it's a birthmark that doesn't fade. A port wine stain, it stays for your entire life. And there are treatment processes to lighten it, but for the most part, it stays throughout your entire life. So most of my journey has been regarding how to embrace that, and kind of accept myself and who I am as a person, as this is just part of me. And so I would say the most difficult part of my journey was trying to not like feel the pity that others give me when they hear about my birthmark, and how to accept like the confrontations of, what is this? Is it a burn? Like, what is this on your hand? And I think my like biggest step to embracing myself was wearing short sleeves like I am today, instead of always covering it up with like long sleeves that had like the armhole that I always usually would wear. So I think, I'm still a teenager, so I'm still trying to figure out and navigate my difference and how to really embrace that and make that like my little superpower, as I like to call it. But I would say my journey is one of resilience and like self-love and like self-image, and how to like improve upon that for myself.
I think that's so beautiful. And you finding this at such a young age. Was it, were people like providing you with words of wisdom saying like that is a beautiful thing and okay, like family, okay.
Yeah, obviously, my parents, when they were younger, they're like, I obviously, when I noticed that my hand was a different color, my parents were so supportive. And, that was probably their concern of like how to put me out into the world, into school, because little kids can be very harsh, like, since they have no filter. And so, especially when I was younger, I would say like a lot of kids might have been more brutal with their words towards me about my birthmark. But as I got older, and everyone kind of matured, everyone in school, everyone around me, they always talk about how beautiful it is, how it's so different, and like the color is really pretty. And like I feel like, I don't know, like the whole birthmark is just, everyone thinks it's really cool, and especially because I'm a ballerina, so that kind of makes it even more of like, I guess, a self-image struggle. I think a lot of ballerinas like to always like compliment my birthmark. And I think definitely the validation from other people have helped me to believe that my birthmark, it's different, but it's unique and it makes me who I am, and not anything like ugly or something I should hide.
Yeah. That is so important, and it gives me so much hope in our generation
Yeah, for
and the
sure.
people right now that they're lifting you up and providing you with
Yeah.
kind words rather than negative words. But
Mhm.
I totally agree with you. I have a vascular birthmark. It's on my the left side of my face.
Yeah. So
Had it
beautiful.
was born. It's a global venous malformation. Thank you.
Mm.
And I kind of went through that same thing. Like people in my school were being kind to me, but it was people who didn't know me or were like
Right.
asking the questions that it's okay. And I think people should ask questions. But when
Yeah.
it gets to the point where they're like condescending and
Yeah.
like, that's not a birthmark, this is, and
Right.
it's like a
Yeah.
freckle.
Hmm.
It's tough, those premature accusations. So
Hmm.
important to bring awareness to that. And then my next question kind of talks about a piece of advice you would have for someone going through the same thing, or even just any struggle, any difference that they have that they feel they should hide and that they're afraid of.
I think my biggest piece of advice would be that you define who you are and not others. And also that it's like never that serious. I think when I was younger, I always would think that like a person's first impression of me is my birthmark or how I'm different. And I feel like as I've grown, obviously still not fully matured, but as I've grown, I've realized like I can make myself like, I can create my own character, and like, through my personality, through my smile, or through something else, to not even take attention away from my birthmark, but build upon it. So this So I'm not always known as like, oh, the girl with the red hand. And instead I'm known as like, oh, the girl who's super outgoing or super nice or a ballerina. Like there's other aspects of me that aren't my birthmark. And I think that's something that a person with a birthmark should focus on more. And it creates like who you are other than apart and sets yourself apart from your birthmark. And I would say that has been my biggest that would be my biggest piece of advice to everyone.
I absolutely love that. And I could not agree more with you. Whenever I was figuring out how I wanted to deal with my birthmark, that was my whole thing. Like,
Right.
so much more to me beyond my, I call it beauty
Exactly.
mark, but like so much more to me beyond that. And that I want people to know. And it's not something that I
Yeah.
don't love and celebrate, but it's not
Yeah.
all. Just as someone else who has something other than a birthmark doesn't want it to fully define them. Like they love it,
Right.
get to
Exactly.
know me beyond that. So, oh my goodness, I love that. Your story, I think, will inspire so many young people. First of all, you're so well
Thank you
spoken.
so much. Thank you. I mean, I'm still working on that, but
No, it is. You are
getting
amazing.
better.
I
Thank
I
you.
absolutely love it, and I think your words are you're very very genuine. So that will really help people who are going through this as well. And yeah, thank you for being here for everyone at home.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
I truly believe that Iris's story goes to show the true beauty and difference. And when I say that, I mean it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.